As promised, today we will discuss about Anglo-French rivalry in India for supremacy. Okay, so you know that in the previous class itself, I told and I described that French East India Company was finally formed in 1664 by one minister of Louis XIV, that is Colbert. Okay, after that, in India, the French established two big settlements. One was in 1674, they established Pondicherry, Pondicherry, and in 1688, they established Chandarnagar in Bengal. Pondicherry was near Madras. Okay, Pondicherry soon became the first in charge of the factory of Pondicherry was Francois Martin. Under his able leadership, okay, Pondicherry grew in power and influence, and it soon became the main headquarter of all French possession and trading activity in India. However, here one thing we should know that what was the main difference between East India Company, that is British East India Company, and French East India Company. British East India Company was a private company. Okay, it has sufficient autonomy for its member, tenant, and individual energy. Okay, whereas the French company was state control. State control. Okay, it was said that it was the offspring of the state and devoid of a spontaneous capability of showing any mercantile activity. Okay, that was the statement made about French East India Company. Secondly, East India Company, British, was economically sound and it used to give loan to even the British government. Okay, that was not the case with French company. And all these things proved the East officers of the East India Company were capable of taking at one decision, whereas the French governor in India had to go by the direction of a state. Whatever state directed, that proved decisive in the battle between French and British East India Company. Okay, how the things started. Okay, then the problem started. One more thing we should know that in 1707, okay, Aurangzeb died. After that, the Mughal authority became quite weak and they were not capable of maintaining law and order throughout the country, which was at least till Aurangzeb was alive. So that happened, and this provided opportunity in South, that is the almost independently. Okay, now to counter Asaf Jah power, there was no Hindu principality to maintain balance south of Krishna River, okay, after Vijayanagar, as Vijayanagar existed during the time of Bahmani. It maintained at least balance of power. So such kingdom did not exist. On western coast, that is the Malabar coast. There were a small state, that is Cochin and Travancore, and on eastern coast, and there was one ghost state of Vijayanagar in the form of Mysore. Mysore was considered the ghost of old Vijayanagar Empire. And on eastern coast, there were Tiruchirappalli, Madurai, and Tanjore. These were small kingdoms, a small principality. So Dupleix thought first to establish a French empire in India. He thought that by playing one ruler against the other and by taking side of one ruler against the other, he could establish French superiority in India, and thus, with their help, he can expel the British from India. And in that condition, the opportunity came to him. Okay? Therefore, the First Carnatic War actually started due to the War of Austrian Succession. First Carnatic War, you will remember, the real cause of that First Carnatic War was the War of Austrian Succession, about which we have discussed that pragmatic sanction was there. Okay, and in that war, Austrian Succession, France and Britain took opposite side. Okay, Britain took the side of Maria Theresa, whereas France opposed it, and hence the war started. So, and that war started in 1740. So the tension started after that. So in 1746, okay, a British fleet, okay, English fleet appeared on Coromandel coast, and it threatened Tiruchirappalli, which was the headquarter of the French. So in 1746, it threatened Pondicherry. I'm sorry, not Pondicherry. Pondicherry was threatened, and some of the French ships were captured by this fleet. Okay, then Dupleix appealed to Anwaruddin. One thing I mentioned, that as Nawab had become almost independent of the Mughal Empire, similarly, within the Principality of Hyderabad, there was a sub-unit of Arcot. And this Arcot was also, although the Nawab of Arcot was supposed to be under Hyderabad, but he also acted similarly, semi-independent. Okay. So, Anwaruddin was the Nawab of Arcot. Dupleix appealed for help when Pondicherry was threatened. Anwaruddin sent troops to save him, and with the help of that, at least the Pondicherry was saved. Okay, and however, and now the French retaliated, and a fleet under La Bardouane, French fleet, La Bardouane, it is pronounced. Okay, threatened Madras. It captured also Madras. Dupleix wanted to capture Saint Fort David. Saint Fort David was the fort, British fort, established in Madras. Okay, Saint Fort David. So Dupleix wanted to take it, but now the British appealed to Anwaruddin again. And Anwaruddin sent its troops. However, okay, and sent its troops, and in this First Carnatic War, the most important thing is that the Battle of Saint Thome or Mailapur it is called. Battle of Saint Thome. It is very famous battle, or Mailapur. It was okay, in which hardly 700 Indian soldiers and nearly 230 French soldiers, okay, trained in a modern way, defeated 10,000 force of Anwaruddin. Okay, but Dupleix wanted to now, after defeating that Anwaruddin force, Dupleix wanted to capture Saint David, but he could not take it because of the resistance offered by Lawrence. Lawrence was the officer who saved Madras from falling into the hand of the French. Okay. After that, peace after Austrian succession in Europe, peace was restored between French and the British by the Treaty of Aix-la-Chapelle. That you know, by the Treaty of Aix-la-Chapelle, 1748. Peace was restored between French and the British and England, and hence in India also the same peace was restored. Okay, and Madras was restored to the British in exchange of Louisburg in North America. Louisburg was the French possession in North America. During the War of Austrian Succession, British captured that. So in India, French restored Madras to British, and the British restored this Louisburg to French, and the peace was restored. Okay, this battle is only known for the Battle of Thome, because here Dupleix realized that a small army, and even the British also took lesson from it, that even a small army of the Indian soldier, if they are trained in a modern way, they can defeat the traditional army of the Mughals or any Indian ruler, okay, very easily. And now the Dupleix ambition of establishing empire in India increased further. So Second Carnatic War immediately started, because Second Carnatic War, it started itself in 1748, because opportunity Dupleix was looking for that came in 1748. What happened? In 1748, Asaf Jah died. The Nizamul Mulk, Nizam of Hyderabad, Asaf Jah died. And after that, Nizam Shahi, succession to Nizam Shahi became a bone of contention. But there were two big claimants. One was Nasir Jung, his second son, Nasir Jung. In many books, in some of the book, he has also been referred as Nasiruddin. So do not get confused. Both persons are same. Nasir Jung and Nasiruddin. He was second son of Asaf Jah. And his grandson means son of his daughter, not son. So maternal grandson you can say, नाती उसको कह सकते हैं. आसफ जाह का नाती मुजफ्फर जंग. Or similarly, there were two claimants of the post of Nawab of Arcot also. Anwaruddin was appointed Nawab of Arcot by Asaf Jah, but his appointment was challenged by son-in-law of old Nawab, that is Chanda Sahib. Chanda Sahib. Okay, so there were two claimants in Arcot also and two claimants in Hyderabad. Now Dupleix took the side of Muzaffarjung and Chanda Sahib. Okay, obviously the British were forced to take the side of Nasir Jung and Anwaruddin. Okay, so in this way the battle started. Okay, now what happened? The army of first move was made by Dupleix. The army of Chanda Sahib and French force, okay, attacked Anwaruddin, who was defeated and killed by the combined army in Amber, 1749. In the Battle of Amber, by the combined force of Chanda Sahib and French, Anwaruddin was defeated and killed, and his illegitimate son, he was not the legal son, okay, his illegitimate son, Muhammad Ali, son of whom? Anwaruddin. Muhammad Ali fled to Tiruchirappalli and took refuge there in the fort of Tiruchirappalli and took a refuge there. Okay, and Chanda Sahib became the Nawab of Arcot, except without Tiruchirappalli. Okay, and now Dupleix moved to what? Hyderabad. In Hyderabad also, for some time, now the British intervened. They helped Nasir Jung, and with the help of Nasir Jung had succeeded meanwhile at Hyderabad, and by the time Dupleix was busy in dealing Arcot, meanwhile the British succeeded in establishing Nasir Jung on the throne. Now with the help of Nasir Jung, okay, and English, they attacked Chanda Sahib and forced him to take refuge in Pondicherry. तो चंदा साहब नवाब बना, लेकिन बहुत कम दिन के लिए. बहुत कंफ्यूजिंग है, ध्यान से देखना है. ओके, पौंडीचेरी जो हेडक्वार्टर फ्रेंच था वहां चला गया, और मुजफ्फरजंग ऑल्सो सरेंडर्ड टू द ब्रिटिश, हु वाज इम्प्रिजन्ड एंड केप्ट इन जेल एट हैदराबाद. तो अभी का पोजीशन क्या है? कुछ दिन के लिए चंदा साहब नवाब बने, लेकिन इंग्लिश और नासिर जंग ने ये दोनों जगह बाजी पलट दी. ओके, अब देन ओके अटैक, ओके नासिर जंग. नाउ अगेन Dupleix intervened. Okay, on Muzaffarjung surrendered and he was imprisoned. But with the help of French force, now again Nasir Jung was attacked and killed, and Muzaffarjung was released, and he was made Nawab of Nizam of Hyderabad. तो अब नासिर जंग तो मारा गया फ्रेंच आर्मी से, और अब मुजफ्फरजंग बन गया वहां का नवाब, एंड ए फ्रेंच फोर्स was kept at Hyderabad for his protection, okay, protection under Bassi, Colonel Bassi. Okay, so now the power of Dupleix was at its peak, obviously, and soon he returned, released Chanda Sahib from there, Pondicherry took Chanda Sahib again and made him. So this happened in 1750. In 1750, Muzaffar Jung became Nizam of Hyderabad, and in 1751, next year, again Chanda Sahib was made the Nawab of Arcot. Okay, so Dupleix in 1751, Dupleix power was at its peak. Okay, Dupleix was by Muzaffar Jung. Dupleix was made governor of all French, all Mughal territory south of River Krishna. Okay, south of River Krishna, and he was, however, and his power and influence increased tremendously. Meanwhile, there was a fight at Hyderabad, and in that fight, a skirmish, Muzaffar Jung was killed. However, with the British intrigues, that fight took place. But Bassi was still able to maintain French hold, and he placed Salabat Jung, that is, he was son of Muzaffar Jung, on the throne and maintained French control. So this was the middle of the Second Carnatic War. Now the side turned in favor of the British. Clive joined the scene now. And Clive gave the idea earlier. However, he had failed. Okay, he had failed in helping or saving Anwaruddin. Okay, but this time again, Clive, who was a writer in company, very small post. He was just a writer of the company. He gave the suggestion that to relieve, because do not forget, Muhammad Ali, the son of Anwaruddin, was still hiding in Tiruchirappalli. Okay, and Chanda Sahib and French forces had still encircled him. So to release the pressure from there, he gave the suggestion that we should attack Arcot itself. So now the British force attacked Arcot. To save Arcot, Chanda Sahib rushed from Tiruchirappalli. And once, with the help of, there was a Maratha contingent also in support of the English. It was led by Morari Rai. Okay? And Chanda Sahib was badly defeated by the British now. Tiruchirappalli was relieved. And Chanda Sahib took refuge. He fled to save his life and took refuge with the Raja of Tanjore. But the Raja of Tanjore treacherously murdered him. Now, Muhammad Ali was made the Nawab of Arcot. Okay? French company, dissatisfied by Dupleix, recalled him in the middle of the Second Carnatic War. And now, in 1754, Godechou became the French governor. Godechou. Cheux. He replaced Dupleix as governor. Okay? And India, in January 1755, finally, January 1755, peace was signed between the French and the British. Okay? And the British were able to release pressure from Hyderabad as well as Arcot. And the tide had turned in favor of the British. So after that, the Third Carnatic War started. Third Carnatic War started with the beginning of 7 years war in Europe. Okay. So it was a 7-year war. That is 58 to from Third Carnatic War. Carnatic War 1758 to 63. Okay, although but it started with 7-year war. Okay, in Europe. In April 1757, French government sent Count de Lally. Count de Lally came to India in 1757. He went to Madras. Okay, April in 1758 he reached. Lally captured. After arrival in India, he immediately attacked Madras and captured Saint David. That was the main Saint David in 1758. So 1758 Camp David went into the hand of French. Okay, and he planned to attack Tanjore also. Okay, and he also from Tanjore extracted 56 lakhs of rupees. Okay, company. Lally now called Basi to from Hyderabad, which was a blunder. At least at Hyderabad, Basi was able to maintain French influence. But Lally called him from Hyderabad and to Madras. However, Pocock, a British fleet, थोड़ा गला खराब हो गया है, please bear with me, under General Pocock, a British fleet defeated Lally at DHA. DHA thrice. Okay, and compelled him to retire from Indian waters. Finally, Ayerkut, British General Ayerkut, in the Battle of Vandiwas, 1760, completely annihilated French army, and that sealed the French desire of making empire in India by the Paris Peace Treaty. 1763, peace was returned, but French were allowed to do business only at the mercy of the British. Okay, and in this way, this battle sealed the fate of the French. Okay, thank you, please. So, in next class, we will now study the rise of British power in Bengal. Okay, you will wait for my new class. This class is live. Okay, so if you will subscribe the channel, notification will go to you. Okay, and in such a detailed Anglo-French rivalry, neither you will find in one book. You will have to study many books to collect these facts. Okay, so you subscribe the channel and also share with others who are preparing for competitive exams or doing graduation, post graduation. Thank you, please.